Hi everyone, how you doing? John here, and today we're going to be talking about what is going on with the HPA because I'm pretty sure a lot of you are wondering exactly what is going on, and we're going to be talking about that. So, give me 1 second here, make sure this is going out live over here. I don't know if it is or not, but whatever. Um, I guess it is. All right. Okay. So we're gonna be joined by Mr. Babyface P. Patrick of Convenium Arms, and I don't know if Rich is going to be joining us or not. Yes, my screen is frozen. Just give me a second here. I'll fix that right now. Sorry, I hit a cable. It should be coming back up right now. And now I gotta just switch it to the right camera, and then we should be good to go here. Or not. What the hell? Now everything is locked up. Huh. All right, just give me 1 second, guys. All right, let's see. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna just change it over 1 second here. You guys hear me now?
I hear everything.
All right, cool. There was a little issue with StreamYard, but it looks like it's all worked out now.
Are we live?
We are
Wait,
live.
we've been live for 3.5 minutes.
Oh, I've been sitting here typing. Glad I didn't pick my nose.
Yeah. There's a little issue with StreamYard, but we are now working. So here we go.
Cool.
All right. So we're going to be discussing what is going on with this whole. I have no idea what's going on. You know what? Screw it. Well, I'm just going to go with this. Here. No green screen. We are back to whatever. Okay, so we are going to be talking about what is going on right now with the HPA because they had the hearing last night and nothing passed. And
so when you say nothing passed, what does that mean?
There's no manager's amendments.
Okay. So not specifically gun-related things, just nothing.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So there's no manager's amendment. And to a lot of people, that is disappointing. But let me just say, for one thing right now, is that the issue at hand that is going wrong has nothing to do with the actual HPA itself.
Okay. So we're not SOL. There's still hope. This is going to go
no.
through.
I mean, I think it's in there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I think it's in there. So there is. When I say there's hope, there's a lot of hope actually.
When you're saying hope, is this specific to? I don't know. I sorry, I was half paying attention because I was typing something. But is it just HPA, or have we discussed short at all?
I think short is in there. I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure that it is in there.
Okay. Yeah, that's a court of public opinion, short act status. That's the big one that everybody's. The feeling, my internal feeling is that we have a really high likelihood of HPA. It feels really good. Short, I don't feel confident. I don't know what's happening. I don't know enough about what's going on with short stuff.
Well, right now the whole entire thing it has nothing to do with actual short act. There's some holdups, but it has nothing to do with the short act or HPA. There's other things that are
It's clerical stuff from other parts of the bill. It's nothing to do with us. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to see exactly what happens, but
yeah, and I will give my personal opinion out there just for people who are listening. If this does end up getting through all of the things before it hits the president's desk, if you want a can, you better go get it. I'm just saying. If it goes from Congress and there's that time period where we're waiting for the president to sign it and we know it's going to get signed.
You said the quiet part out loud.
You won't find one for the next 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it. Maybe I'm a little opportunistic and selfish. I didn't want to mention any of that.
It's just the fun thing. This is way off topic, and this is not. I want to go buy a used can from somebody in a Walmart parking lot. That's what I want.
Amen, brother.
That's going to be that's going to be my celebratory thing. But we aren't there yet, and I can't get excited yet because we're not there yet. But
we're getting close. Right now, I don't think there's a lot of other things that are in there that's causing issues. For example,
do you know what?
Like the SALT tax, state and local.
So SALT is not strategic arms limitations, that's state and local taxes. So whether you live in a free state like Florida, like Patrick and myself, or you live in a commie foothold like New York, in New York, what you would do is you would deduct your state and local taxes from your federal income taxes.
So that
is basically held? Yeah, so it levels the playing field with the commies. It doesn't give you an incentive to live in a free state. It levels the playing field between commie states like New York and free states like Florida.
I want to say thank you for being a member for 5 months. Run Gun business.
Nice.
Yeah, so right now, Brandon has an interesting question. I was playing video games, texting Congress people last night while talking to Brandon on Discord. So, how will it affect 80 wish cans? That is a totally separate issue. The ATF considers those to be suppressors, and the HPA will not change that. Yep.
So, basically, if the Hearing Protection Act goes in the purest form, meaning that suppressors are off the NFA, period, I could 3D print a can at my home because it's just like building a gun, which I do. Patrick does, but Patrick's an FFL with superpowers.
I pay for those privileges.
Yeah.
So I could legit 3D print a can, but if I ordered all the parts that would be considered a can already, that would be frowned upon.
Yeah, that definitely would be frowned upon.
So we just need the right people in the ATF to say, no, Wish is a approved provider of things.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't think that's going to happen, though.
So you mean I just can't order a particular Napa fuel filter and some core plugs from a Chevy 350?
You just don't talk about this stuff on the internet. That's what it is.
Is that how it works?
Pretty much.
3D printed jig to drill the core plugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to mess with some stuff behind the scenes, so I'll stop.
Wish in Napa. Well, I mean, if it's a solvent trap, it's not a suppressor, right? I mean,
I agree with you, but I don't know that I want to be the one to go in front of the judge and explain that to them.
amen, brother. Amen.
I mean,
yeah, we don't want to join Matt
what
Hoover.
happens when you hire a tax attorney and laser engrave an image on a business card, you know? So I'm not sure I want to be the person to do that.
Yep. I hear you, man. So right now it's like no necessarily good news, but no necessarily bad news either.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with whatever.
So how, like they always talk about sausage and bills are two things you don't want to see being made. How many pages is this? Is this the standard 3,000 page?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet because we don't actually have the text.
So what in this sausage making, what is currently happening? If you don't mind, if people don't mind me asking, what is happening? Are they sitting at their desks arguing about what should be done? Are they all off just having phone meetings? Like what, how does this work? What is currently happening?
Phone meetings and everything else. There is going to be a White House meeting later on today. I don't know if that's public knowledge or not.
Well, now it is.
Now it is. They're being summoned to the White House. Trump is going to tell them to go ahead and
they. Is this the Republicans, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Leadership, Republican leadership.
Johnson and stuff like that. Trump's going to tell them, go ahead and get this crap done. We need to get this done right now. We need to,
like nobody knows that.
The big, beautiful bill. Well, people know it now, right? 500 people know.
No, I'm saying nobody knows it needs to be done. I'm like, you dumbasses. We all know a budget deadline is looming.
But the president can put a lot of pressure on these people. So when that happens, two things can happen. They can either say, yeah, the president's right. Let's make it. Yeah, this is good. We're gonna
I mean, is it Republican versus Republican? Because calling the Republicans to the White House, how is that going to affect anything? Is it like Nancy Pelosi causing all the problems?
No, the president can put a lot of pressure on them to go ahead and get it passed. Will it work? I don't know. It's better than nothing. So there is a chance that the president can put enough pressure on them to actually get it through. If not, it can take a couple weeks to get through. If this doesn't work, I know the goal. Rich,
yeah.
Wait. I know the goal is to try to get it done today, if not today, by Friday. I don't know how realistic it is. I know we were talking earlier on this week, and somebody I was talking to Monday said, I don't think that this is going to go this week.
I don't like those feelings. But, I mean...
But it has nothing to do with guns. There's a lot of stuff. There's the salt. There's the
are Republicans anti-salt or pro-salt?
That's the problem. There is a mix of it.
Okay, but it has nothing to do with us. We're just sitting and waiting at this point.
Correct.
Good. This is the most positive news we've had since 1934.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can wait a couple more days. I honestly can. If we think this is happening, I can wait a couple more days.
All right. So I got a super chat here. Then we're going to get to something I want to bring up. It says, Booth pack sausage.
Okay. So the thing here is...
Rich, I want to get to this question because this is important. It says, I thought it was the Shush Act and not the HPA in this bill last night. That... Cloud introduced the Shush Act through the amendment process to the bill. So that was Cloud putting that in there. Any member of Congress can enter into any amendment. The difference between the Shush Act, I actually prefer the Shush Act, which would not only remove him from NFA, but would remove him from GCA. Now with the Shush Act, you're going to run into an issue though. And that is the bird rule. That The NFA can be modified through reconciliation because the NFA is a tax law. The GCA is not a tax law.
Yep.
So that was about introducing it, but really doesn't have a chance through reconciliation.
That's important, an important distinction, because a lot of us don't understand. And I can tell you, it's taken me a couple of days of reading through how all of this works. A lot of us don't understand how any of this works, and that it has to be tax related to be able to get through there. It can't be, because if we allowed any bills to go through reconciliation, non-tax related, whenever you owned the presidency, the Senate, and the House, you would just push any garbage you wanted through there.
Yeah, it has to be tax related. It can't be just policy related. And the GCA is a policy related thing. The NFA is a tax related thing.
That must be attacked separately, in my opinion.
So budget reconciliation is half scam, half sausage making. The problem with it, depending on who's in power, if it's our team, yay. If it's not our team, oh boy. That's how they got Obamacare through, which is totally crazy. But let's stick to what's going on today. All we need is a simple majority, not a 2/3, none of that. Simple majority in the House, simple majority in the Senate. So if any Republicans are against and we have the members, we have the rhinos out there to be able to do this. Now, the question is, are they ballless rhinos, or are they actually going to deliver on something for us for the first time in 100 years? Because that's what totally pisses me off, is basically you can steamroll this unless you have to make a deal with the Democrats on something, and they shouldn't have to, because we have a simple majority of Republicans. There's a simple majority of ours in both the House and the Senate. So we should be able to get whatever we want with respect to the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act.
It sounds like what Crump is saying, that is the HPA stuff is not what the issue is. It's a bunch of other stuff that is holding it up.
The support for HPA and Short Act in the Senate is actually stronger than it is in the House.
That doesn't surprise me.
So this is the big hurdle. If we get it over the House or we get it to the Senate, we're still going to have to call our senators. But this is the big hurdle. If it goes through and the HPA and Short Act is in there.
So what is the pass fail on the HPA right now?
I'm not done talking. Stop interrupting. I'm like in the middle of a sentence and Richard's like,
too much excitement.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, when it gets to the Senate, I'm really confident that it will pass, and that will change the face of the Second Amendment forever.
Really? Now, so the critical juncture right now, the go no go on this is it's got to get included with the House right now.
Yeah, and I think it is. I don't think any of this stuff. Well, interrupting Cal. The HPA is one. I'm positive that's in there. And yesterday during the day, if you would to ask me, is the Short Act going to be in there? I said probably not.
That was the feeling I had yesterday after hearing from you and then going and watching YouTube videos and looking at Twitter. I wasn't confident, and I still am not. I still don't feel good. But so, are you saying that your opinion has changed on that?
Yes, it definitely has.
That's good.
It definitely has.
That will change again. That will change things so amazingly. I'm ready to start. I want to get to the point, and I'm impatient. So anybody out there that doesn't know me personally, and these guys probably know, I'm super impatient, and I want to get to the point where I can start thinking about, who do I need to call to get all of my SBRs off of the NFA? Like, I want to get to that level where I'm just like, okay, NFA, I want my stuff gone. They're no longer NFA items. I want to be able to sell them to anybody I feel like,
Now, if the Short Act passes, all the SBRs and SBSs on the NFA would automatically be deleted.
I have for anybody that doesn't know, I'm a stamp collector. I have about 10 to 15 stamps upstairs in a binder. My entire binder of lots of money of stamps becomes worthless overnight in the best way possible. It's incredible that just becomes something I can show my grandkids and be like, hey, we worked on this and we actually got it through. Like, how amazing would that be? Oh my God. Sorry,
Amen.
I don't want to get too excited. I'm trying to temper my enthusiasm.
Right.
Because they're still messy. All of this is still messy.
I mean, I always feel like it's Lucy in the football. I'm like, please, this time, do not be the rhino cuck that we know you are. Come through with it. Come through. Deliver. They did this in the first 2 years of Trump in his first term. Like, oh, reelect us and then we'll do. It's like, no, none of that. Do it now. Do it now. Don't. It's like they're dangling, the carrot in front of us and making us do tricks. No more of that crap.
Politicians don't know how to close the deal, so hopefully we get it closed.
Oh, they know how to close the deal if it's taking money from a lobbyist.
Yeah. So what's Crump? What should we be looking out for? Do we need to be calling anybody currently? Do we need to be lighting up phone lines? And
Absolutely.
Where should we be watching for updates? I'm guessing Twitter is a good one. Absolutely.
The GOA has their Twitter has been on it pretty effectively. I think out of all the organizations, GOA, NOA, and ASA, American Suppressor Association, which not a lot of people have heard of. If you're not a member of American Suppressor Association, I would suggest that you do it. The GOA the guys at GOA have been following this a lot. If the Short Act and HPA get through, the GOA, NRA, which I'm saying NRA will deserve a lot of credit, and ASA, the American Suppressor Association, will also deserve a lot of credit from getting this passed, because those three organizations are the ones that have put a lot of time and effort on getting this passed. And I did see something. Could I put a shorter barrel on my AR if the Short Act gets passed? And yes, you can.
Ooh, you mean my PS90 gets delivered to Patrick to get chopped down?
Yeah.
I will. The pure business side of things for me is exciting because, one, this opens up the secondary market where, as an FFL, even as a non-FFL, you can buy and sell used suppressors. But as an FFL, I can offer the service of, hey, you want to get rid of cans? I'll pay you, like a pawn shop. I'll pay you 60 cents on the dollar. You bring them over. I'll sell them to somebody else. And then the other side is, I'm a machine shop with the ability to cut and thread barrels. I hope that whoever out there, keeps me busy for the next 5 years cutting barrels down on every gun you have. I'd love to do it. I might run a special. I might run a Short Act special. You send your barrel in, I will cut it down and thread it out for like $60. I don't care. I want all of them.
Right. Amen. You're going to keep the tips?
Maybe. I have a whole, you should see, actually, funny enough, I have a whole box of those outside that they go in a spare metal bin under the lathe.
Okay, a lot of people asking who's the guy in the bottom. That is Babyface B of Corvandium Arms, a good friend of the show. He's always on Hank's show, Hank Strange's show on Rumble. So check him out over there. He's also known as Babyface B, but his real name is Patrick. We got some questions I just want to get to here. The first one is, if we buy a suppressor now and file the paperwork, what will happen if Trump signs the reconciliation bill? Well, if you file the paperwork right now, the way they're going through and how quickly they're going through, it's probably going to be through before anything is signed.
Can I take a stab at that real quick? My personal opinion is, if you have a good working relationship with an FFL, an SOT of some variety, opinion is, if this gets through all the stages before it hits Trump's desk, go to your FFL, tell them to call up their wholesaler, buy whatever you want, because they can get their Form 2s done. Those are tax-free. Form 3s, excuse me. Those are tax exempt, so there's no payment from business to business. Buy all the things you want. Tell them, hey, just get them in, put them in your safe. I will come by in 2 weeks to do my transfer, to do my Form 4. I'll come by in 2 weeks to do my Form 4, By that point, hopefully Trump has signed everything and there are no more Form 4s. And you just say, okay, just sign them over. Just do a 4473 and I get to take them home. That's how my brain works.
Yeah. This other one says, if this passes, how long would it take before it goes into effect? It's reconciliation. So the moment that Trump signs it, it will be in effect.
Yep.
Somebody's bringing up Fitzpatrick. Brian Fitzpatrick is a congressman out of Pennsylvania. Yeah, he's a Republican congressman and he hates guns. He's never met a gun bill. He did not like anti-gun bill that he didn't like. He's been endorsed by Everytown, Giffords, and everything else. So we're not going to get him.
Is he a Republican or a Democrat?
He's a Republican out of Pennsylvania.
Oh, that blows my mind. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, the birth of our country. And anyways, yeah. I won't get started.
And I want to make sure that you don't get Silencer Shop and Silencer Central mixed up. They're two different companies. Silencer Co. is a different company too. Silencer Co., Silencer Shop have been lobbying for the HPA. Silencer Shop has a lobbyist named Jason Wime. If you don't know who that is, he used to run the NRA ILA. He's been working on the Hill trying to get the HPA passed. And Silencer Co. has been funding a lot of the efforts by ASA to get the HPA passed. So neither one of those companies have been lobbying against the HPA. Silencer Central, I put out all the information on there. You can go over to MLN, you can read the article, you can look through all the evidence, and you can make up your own mind about Silencer Central.
I'm reading through the comments as they're popping up here about Silencer Central, and they'll sell through their inventory. Yeah, they will. They'll probably sell out of all their inventory. I don't want to tell you how to run your business, but I can tell you that after 2013, for anybody that's old enough to remember, I no longer will buy from there's a certain website that is very cheap and dirty.
Cheaperthandirt.com.
Okay, you can say it. I was afraid to say it. I won't buy from them anymore because of how they handled the post-Sandy Hook stuff. You can do that with what you want, and you're allowed to buy and not buy from any company you feel like.
Yeah, Cheaper Than Dirt is actually on my do not sponsor list.
100%
sponsorships from list. So there's that.
I believe. Sorry, I was going to answer LV whatever 13 whatever.
Go for it.
It would be so. As far as I understand this, they're not getting removed from the GCA. They're still considered a firearm, but they would be treated like any other firearm in your state. You would do a 4473, and then whatever goes along with doing that in your state, background checks, NICS checks. If like for me, I live in Florida. If places like this, we have a normal environment where I can go to Walmart and call somebody up and say, hey, I want to buy your Glock from you. They'll meet me over there. I give them cash. They give me gun. That same sort of all of that same environment would be exactly the same for suppressors, and potentially short barrel rifles wouldn't matter at all either, because that's just a gun. It's just a firearm.
Exactly. They'll be treated like buying a pistol.
Yep. Same exact thing.
I mean, it's amazing because it's like buying a pistol. It's like making a polymer 80 at home.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. I would be,
or 80% AR.
If we whenever we get there, I would caution people about making homemade cans. Temper your enthusiasm a little bit and learn what you're doing, because there is a lot of pressure that builds up in one of those tubes. So don't just go doing anything. Learn a little bit before you go at it. But yes, technically you will be able to 3D print or machine if you have a lathe and a mill. Weld, you can make your own at home.
Yeah, I just want to cover this again. The Shush Act was proposed as an amendment. I don't see that going through because the Byrd rule says that only tax-related laws can be changed through reconciliation. The NFA is a tax-related law. The Shush Act would not only remove it from the NFA, but would remove it from the GCA, which is a policy-related law, which I wish they could do it through reconciliation, but I just don't think
you don't. We wish, because it's about guns, but if for whatever reason we opened up that and then there were 3 Democrats, House, Senate, President, we would be on the receiving end of the torture. So We don't wish that. I personally, I can't talk for Crump, but I personally do not wish for that.
I have looked into SB Tactical and some of the other companies right now. I haven't been able to find any of their lobbying for it, but I will keep on looking into I check everyone. I check every company just to see their lobby. I mean, not because of just this issue. I just have a running tally of who's lobbying for what.
And what do we know about that? Is there any news
On what?
On who's lobbying for what?
Yeah, I can tell you who's lobbying for the HPA.
Meaning
the people that are totally in favor of removing cans. There's a big growing list.
On the suppressor side, there is there are a few different ones. There is the Silencer Shop. They're doing a lot of it. All the ASA members, which is Silencer Co. If you go to ASA, you can see all their members, but there's a lot of different companies.
Most of the
the American Suppressor Association, they are 100% for suppressors being treated as firearms removed from the NFA 4473 in your hand now.
Correct. Capital Armory is another company that's been lobbying to remove suppressors from the NFA, even though they have the same model as Silencer Central.
They were not short-sighted, is my opinion, because just think about how many more you would sell in raw numbers. Yeah, you lose a small part of your business, but your raw number sales are you're going to have to hire third shifts to keep up with demand for production for the next 3 years, is my opinion.
Yeah,
you're
but
you have to ramp up.
You got to look at it this way too. Let's say that they are removed from the NFA. That's going to open up a lot of more companies coming in. That's going to drive the prices down, and the profit margins will go down. So you have to look at it as well.
That's true.
Where will the volume make up for the profit margins going down? Which one will cost you more money? A lower profit margin, but you're selling thousands of cans, or a higher profit margin, but you're not only selling half as much.
Once you give somebody a can of Pringles and they take a couple bites and they realize, holy crap, these are incredible, and I want a can of Pringles for every single one of my things in the safe, you're going to sell out more. I don't want one 22 can that goes on this gun and then I have to move it to this one. I just want to buy 6 22 cans and leave it on all my 22s. That's how I am.
That's what Patrick's been saying for years. And legit, I got my first can finally, and I'm like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, well, the first can I got was like this little 22. Then I was like, I like this. I'm making another 22. I got another 22. Then I was like, maybe I should get some 9mm. I mean, 223 cans. So I got some 223 cans. And I was like, I need some 9mm cans. So I got a few 9mm cans. I was like, well, I got some more ARs. I don't feel like switching them around.
Have you?
Let me get some more 223 cans. And
have
then
you
I got
gotten into specialty cans yet?
30 can. What's that?
Have you gotten into specialty cans? Because I've grown my collection to the point now where I'm looking at like, well, I have a full auto MP5. I want a short, fat little thing for putting on the MP5. I kind of want a 5.56K because I want it short. I don't need the super, like, I'm now getting into the specialty side where I'm like, I don't need maximum suppression. I just want cool crap on everything.
Yeah, I know. Like, I got a Banish, which is Silencer Central, like their Banish K.
It's a shame because their product is fine. Their product is perfectly good. It's their policies that are bad. Their politics are bad.
Yeah. Show me your can is my new motto.
Amen.
Is that a can in your pants, or are you just happy to see?
So, all right, good question about the database. Does that mean that the NFA items on the database that they click the delete button?
Should be. And looking at who's running the NFA division over at the ATF, I could see that happening.
Wow.
Rich, you've worked in tech long enough. I'm always skeptical of when somebody says they're going to delete a database that they actually do. Server devs, database devs do not like deleting data. It's against their ethos. I am never confident that it's ever done correctly or properly. I'm a naysayer when it comes to people actually taking care of data seriously, and they're supposed to.
Well, give it
They're
to Hillary
supposed to.
Clinton; she'll delete it.
Yeah,
I like when they say they have digital digital shredders. Like,
yeah,
no
yeah.
such thing, dude.
That was the dumbest claim a company has ever made, and I won't tell you what company that is, but
I'm like, I know how this works.
Yes, it's your typical, I'd say, boomer. I hate to use that term because it is derogatory, but your typical 60-year-old does not understand how that works, and they know how a physical
I'm
shredder
59
works.
and a half.
I know, but you're not typical. You work in tech. They don't understand how any of that works, so it sounds good.
Yeah. I'm like, wipe it? You mean like with a claw?
The manager's amendments, which would be HPA and Short Act, no manager amendments were added, not because there's a sticking point on HPA or Short. The sticking point is other things like SALT and SNAP. So that should bring you up. So we're still waiting. Like I said, there's going to be a White House meeting today. Whether anything comes out of that or not, we will see. There's several people, including the president, is holding out hope that it will get passed today with the manager's amendments in it. I do not see that happening. At earliest, I'm looking at Friday, but I'm thinking more 10 to 14 days.
All right. So right now, Short and HPA are not in the big beautiful bill. Is that what you're saying?
There's no manager amendments been added yet.
So no amendments have been added.
Correct.
That's what I was going to ask. Manager amendments. Remind me real quick what that means.
A manager amendment is when, like Johnson and whatnot, he adds the amendments in there. If God forbid the Short Act doesn't, hold on, I gotta scroll up. Sorry. If God forbid the Short Act doesn't go with HPA, we'll probably see a lot of pin and welded silencers.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. That was a thing for a while. They typically were done with what you would consider more expensive cans. And people, this is kind of an older thing that youngins probably don't know about, and I'm young, but not that young. You could, at one point, there were companies selling $250 cans. You'd pay the $200 tax stamp. You put it on a 12.5-inch barrel, do a pin and weld, and bring it out to 16. So it's a one stamp gun. It kind of got expensive, and then it fell out of vogue. That could, if Short doesn't go through, that could come back. Just get ready to start calling because we want both. I don't want to give up on either. I want both. I want to be able to live my life. I have a perfect example. I have a ACR off camera right now. I want a 12.5-inch barrel on that so bad, but I just haven't wanted to put the $200 into a tax stamp for the gun. I want it so bad.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of integrally suppressed firearms coming out if it does go through. Integrally suppressed firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Get tongue-tied there. If it goes through, can I still form one? You will not need to form one. Form ones for suppressors will not be a thing. You can just make it like you're making a 3D printed firearm.
Yep. Yeah, it's like making anything else.
Last I read, the big beautiful bill, but it still said it was just to remove the tax because the manager's amendments have not been added. They need to work on some stuff to get the manager's amendments to be added, but right now it looks like the holdup once again is not anything firearm related. It is other stuff like SNAP and SALT.
Do you know how I know this is way off topic, but do you know how I know that the India-Pakistan war is done? Is I get nothing but spam calls and spam emails and spam texts again.
Yeah,
those dudes are back at it.
Yeah. We pushed to repeal the NFA. I would love to see that, but I don't see that happening. And because Republicans are afraid of machine guns, and that's just the honest truth.
That is correct. There is fear over that, even though we've seen so many times in the last 2 years of somebody getting arrested with a Glock switch on their gun, arguing pro Second Amendment, and getting that charge dropped. I've seen how many times have we seen that? 4 times now in the last 2 years.
It's been multiple times.
But yeah, the Republicans are afraid of machine guns. They're afraid of that. That one is scary to them, even though you could own one. Before 86, no problem. He's paid the tax.
Exactly.
Are you ready to wrap up? Because if you are, I just want to one more time. Who should we be contacting, and who should we be watching to see updates?
Okay, I just want to. Yeah, I'm ready to wrap up. Will there be a short amendment right now? I am told that most likely it will be in there, but who knows when it actually goes. I never count my chickens before they hatch. So right now what we need to do is we need to be still calling every member of the House of Representatives. Once it gets through the House, then we can start concentrating on the Senate.
Should we be focusing, kind of a question internally, should I be focusing on my personal reps, or should I just be making calls?
Well, that depends. Is your personal rep a Republican?
Yes, and she's actually a very good one.
Then concentrate on your personal rep. It doesn't hurt to call other reps, but
my personal rep is Kat Kamek. She's pretty good.
Yeah, like where I'm from, it's all our reps are Democrats, so
Yeah.
I'm concentrating on the other ones.
Okay, so yeah, focus on calling Republicans. Is that what you're saying? Because we have the votes, we just need to make sure they do what we want.
Correct. We're not going to flip. We're not going to.
You're not flipping a Dem. What is that number, and who's it go to, and why should we call it?
So this is the House switchboard, actually the switchboard for your representatives. If you call that number, say, I am from this zip code. I would like to speak to my House member. Could you switch me to him? And that'll get you that. Say, hi, I'm Rich. This is my zip code. I want to talk to my House member. And they'll just switch you over there and tell them, hey, the Hearing Protection Act needs to be included in budget reconciliation, and the full and pure version of the Hearing Protection Act that removes suppressors from the NFA. Boom. And you can also throw in the Short Act.
Yeah, okay. I do want to if we pay the tax stamp, will we get our money back? No, you will not. That money is gone.
And I wouldn't
Go ahead.
I wouldn't think of it like that. Don't worry about, you paid the money, you enjoyed the thing, you've rented it for this amount of time. Forget about that money. It's never coming back. Think about your kids and your grandkids who are going to be tax-free for the rest of their lives. As long as we continue fighting, we'll be tax-free for the rest of their lives. Huge deal.
They didn't vote because they don't have the votes, but that is not gun related. It's other issues, SNAP and SALT, basically. I heard they're close on SALT. So that's why they didn't vote. DOA does have a nice script for phone calls. One of the things I did want to bring up is, hold on. Sorry. Somebody asked me, why do we have to be polite? Because the person you're talking to is not the person that you need the message communicated to. And if you're start yelling, shall not be infringed, you tyrant, they're going to hang up with you. And that is not going to be passed.
Honey versus vinegar.
Absolutely. If it was Jared Guns and Gadgets, more flies with honey. Jared from Guns and Gadgets and a couple other people have been also promoting, like the AK guy, Brendan Herrera, did a live stream promoting calling like 4 different numbers. I posted it on my Twitter. It's, the House Majority Leader, the House Whip, let's see, the Speaker of the House, and there was one more, because they're the people that are at the top level of management in the House. And if you let them know, even though they may not be your personal representative, that's a big deal. If their phone's ringing saying, hey, Short Act and the HPA, they're going to be paying attention to that.
Yeah, Speaker Johnson is one of the people that you really, really need to call.
Okay, I can do that.
And I believe you can say, hey, call this number. I want to talk to Speaker Johnson. If Johnny 3Bar's out there, Johnny 3Bar's really great with all this stuff. He's probably dropping the numbers in the chat.
He has been. Yeah. So there we go. All right. Today we're going to have an interesting guest on John Crump Live over on Rumble. Anybody seen Narcos, the show Narcos?
Ooh.
Season 3 is about taking down the Kali cartel.
So the actual one of the agents, the actual agents,
the actual agent that is based on,
that's cool.
will be on today, talking about how he took down the Kali cartel and all this stuff. So that's gonna be really cool. Can't wait to do that one. But that's over on Rumble at John Crump Live on Rumble. So head over there, 5 o'clock, and yep, that will be it. All right, guys, we are gonna wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everything that all of you do out there and all the efforts you have been making to get this passed. We have been pushing this hard, and our voices are being heard. Which version of HPA? Yep. Yeah, make sure. Yeah, custoff aid is kind of nasty. They hung up on me at first, but then they emailed me. Custoff emailed me. He's like, "Hey, let's talk."
Trick is good. I'm glad I'm good. Thank you for telling me.
And they realized
I don't know what that means.
I was like, you guys hung up on me. You were nasty to me when I called your guys' office when I just was acting as a regular citizen. Now you want to talk and be good? Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. We'll see you guys later. Be sure to follow Flying Rich at Flying Rich and Flying Rich Firearms and Crumpvandium Arms. Spell that out because you don't spell it.
Chrome, CHROME, Vandium, VANDIUM, Arms, ARMS. It's spelled incorrectly on purpose. It's a bit of an inside joke. If I ever meet you in person, ask and I'd be happy to tell it to you.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted you to spell it so people will get it.
And if you do a Google search, I do come up. You'll see, you'll see my YouTube channel related. It's kind of all there. You'll find me.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. So if you want to join me at 5 o'clock, we'll see you at 5 o'clock. Bye.